Since 2012, Compass Control has been a blank palette when programming a custom GUI, and it has led programmers and graphic designers alike to really get creative and demonstrate their creative powers. And we're really excited to show you because we have just been part of so many great and amazing jobs. There's so many stories to tell, and we hope that this will inspire your creative side as well. And see, when we go with the Programming Pro C3 level training, the first thing we ask you, the first thing we talk about is what makes a great GUI. Well, a graphic design, a graphic user interface, I should say, it's two-way. Okay, it's like two-way communication, because it should tell you what is the status of the system and how can I manipulate the system. So it's almost like back in the days of keying in commands to a product and seeing the response, except for it's all done graphically. So this GUI that you hand over to your end user needs to satisfy those two goals. What is the status of the system and how can I manipulate the system? And in order to do that, we give you some really great tools. We call them GUI elements. They are the image. Now, you could actually bring in any PNG that you'd like. Plus, we give you our image library of just thousands and thousands and thousands of images. Images of buttons, images of zones, images of graphic panels, and more. Icons, etc. Now, so you could bring in your own, as I mentioned, and images can actually do things. You could put events on an image, almost like a button. Of course, we have buttons for that as well, as you see. But you could even do things like set an image to be a touch panel. A touch panel. You may have seen the demos of our converging systems LED lighting control bidirectional module. If not, take a look at it on the webpage. And in that module, the user gets to drag their finger across a color picker graphic. And it's actually just a picture. And with a touch panel, you could say either by percentage of that image's dimensions, X and Y, horizontally and vertically, or by pixel, you're going to assign some X and Y value. Text, well, text is text, right? But we could even do fun stuff with text, like make it scroll through the screen like a stock ticker, or you could even, of course, have that text be directly, have its value be directly dictated by the value of some variable, for example. So it could change what it says to you depending on the status of what's happening in the system. Buttons, we actually have 4 button states at Compass Control. Up and down, we all know about. The third, is like a status indicating state. We call it over. And the fourth is disabled, meaning you cannot press it. And you could assign an individual graphic for each of those states. You could even have different text for each state. And things could be located in different locations as well. Really, it's the possibilities are endless, but that is a sign of a mature control system, having 4 different button states. A lot of people ask that at the very early days of Compass Control. How many button states do you have? And they were very excited to hear our answer and have been doing quite well since then. A list. A list is the name of the element that allows you to drag your finger across the screen and swipe, if you will, left, right, vertically. Slider, on the other hand, is an advanced logical element, a volume slider. We demonstrated earlier in the C1 course the beer glass volume control slider. And, there are many control systems that still do not support sliders and other advanced logical elements, because if you think about it, those control systems have buttons like 0%, 25%, 50, 75, 100%. And the button has just one event on it, right? Set the volume level, for example, to 25%. A slider needs to be dynamic. It has one event on it. Set the volume level to X. And X is the value of what the slider stops at as you drag your finger. A group is just one single place to nest things, so they may be treated as one. For example, the list, if I swipe my finger from left to right, what happens is a number of things are going to move together. They're not all one element, but they may be within one group. And finally, multimedia. You could actually embed the web into your Compass Control iOS or Android device. You could view web pages that way. You can also view RTSP streaming video and HTML, I believe it is, streaming video formats, many streaming video formats, in fact. And in fact, you can also do a file load into the iPad of audio clips, video clips, for example, and store that in there and view it through a multimedia player. So it's really one of the finer points of Compass Control that, as far as something that puts us head to toe taller than the competition there, as far as our handling of that streaming video protocol. So let's go ahead and jump into some custom GUI review and installation, custom GUI preview and installation review, because this is a GUI very, very early in the Comp stage. This was a GUI that really did its job well as far as what is the status of the system, in this case a 4x4 video wall, and how can I manipulate the system. You just press one of these two big buttons here, video wall or quadrant wall button, and of course it has all of the commands on there to break these monitors either into 16 panels of one big image or into 4 quadrants of 4 panels. And the GUI itself updates. Then they could choose one of the quadrants to control the video source that they're watching. So it's very, very neat. And that was installed in a nationwide hotel or worldwide hotel lobby. And at the time, they were installing these video walls with a PC control system that was very expensive, and nobody in the hotel staff knew how to use it except for one person. So bringing in Compass Control enabled a user-friendly experience that has then since resulted in many of these systems being installed across the world. Here's a really simple design for it was actually a church, and they just wanted 4 simple buttons. 4 simple buttons. It's a video matrixing plus distributed audio system, and when a custom GUI. With a custom GUI, you could build the buttons to be how big you'd like. And in fact, there's even a room combine option where you press all zones and you could say, okay, what zone do you want to combine with from the meeting room, from the main zone there? And of course, when you choose DVD or digital video, digital television, I should say, another panel like that pops up with that source remote. Conferencing applications. This is one that kind of takes the look and feel of our modular system. And on the left, you have your zone select. And on the second column to the left, you have your source select, depending on what zone you're in. There's audio control as well, but they just made it so simple. This is actually interfacing with Polycom. We have OneWay drivers, OneWay modules, I should say, for the Polycom HDX products. And there was another 1 or 2 models that we support as well with IP control. Here's a system that also took the look of our modular system, but did things a little differently. And we like to show this one because they dropped the module into a custom project. And it's a full bidirectional module. You still are able to drag and drop and have that feedback come in. And so in a full bidirectional instant manner, since it's all over the network. Here's a really nice interface that was used in a large video matrixing system for a bar restaurant up in Alaska, in fact. They had a video wall being controlled. And they had 4 additional zones. And you see right there, you could kind of break up the wall and control the source all within one page. And of course, because you could bring in any PNG image you'd like, you get a nice graphic of that client logo. And it almost can act as digital signage, couldn't it? Speaking of which, this customer really took that idea to the next level. They went to the website of their client and grabbed images from the website, from the menu PDF, and designed the graphics that they needed, like the images of the televisions and source devices and that kind of thing. They designed those graphics on their own in pizza sauce coloring. And when the iOS device here is not in use as a control system, you see it acts as signage with a nice logo, and the client cannot argue with that. So you may be wondering what's next for you. So here's what you're going to do. If you are wanting to stop at the C1 system specification and sales certification level, then just go ahead and click the exam link icon right next to this video training link that you've selected here. Take that exam, pass with an 80% or higher, and you are done. Congratulations and thank you very much. If you wish to continue, we're going to get into programming and installation next for your C1 Plus programming and installation. You're going to take the exam for sales and system specification because the more paper you have, the better, of course. And please continue viewing with the next videos there. And there will be another exam at the end of those videos. For C2, of course, you just continue on through, and C3 as well, Programming Pro. Keep on viewing, keep on taking the exams, and if you have any questions, you just send them over to training@keydigital.com.